Hi folks, welcome to the Sabres Reloaded. This is a video on this channel that we talk about current topics. So, I have a topic. And the topic is, guys, salary cap. What do we do with our salary cap? This is something we'll look at in a second. I want to get the take on some of you guys. And guys, I will get my notes caught up, most likely towards the end of the week, because I'm busy with painting and all sorts of things that I'm helping my daughter with. And anyway, that's another thing. What do you guys think about the salary cap? Should we start spending a bit before the season's lost even? Because I've seen people talking about it. People have talked about maybe we should get somebody and get some vets and things like this. I've seen there was a few notes out there that but I was thinking the salary cap, guys, one thing I like about having money, it's like having money in the bank when it comes to having cap open, because that can come extremely handy on a rainy day. On a rainy day. We need to really, I think, myself, treat that gently, because there is, well, we're going to look at some salaries. There is some things there, and I'm not saying don't spend. I'm saying we better be damn careful if we do. We can't go out and get some big stud name that's 10 million bucks. That would backfire. Because what if we do that and then it doesn't work? So let's take a look, guys, at our cap right now. Here we go. Okay, so if you look at next year, Okposo is going to need a contract. Gergensons is going to need a contract. Hinostroza is going to need a contract. Jost is going to need a contract. All those contracts right there, I don't think are going to be anything that's going to really hurt. Are we going to sign all these guys? I don't know. I just don't know. But for me, here are the important ones now, or the important one and forward anyway, is Dylan Cousins is coming into needing a contract. He's in the third year of his entry level. And then you look under him, Peyton Krebs is the year after. He's expiring. And 2 years down the line, Quinn and Peterka. But we're not there yet, right? So we don't need to worry. Then the next year after, Middlestat and Olofsson, I'm suspecting there's going to be a lot of different faces in the lineup by then anyway. But let's go down to the defensemen. This was really concerning for me not too long ago. And next year, we're in pretty damn good shape. We really are. Samuelson's contract kicks in. And Jokiharju and Lyubushkin are in the final year of their contracts next year. We'll have a better idea what we have there on the blue line next year. Owen Power will be in the final year of his entry level next year as well. And Fitzgerald will be RFA. Lawrence Pilot, who I don't think we're going to be re-signing, and will be UFA. Craig Anderson, I'm pretty sure will retire, guys, this offseason. Here's the important one, believe it or not. Look at Ben Bishop. That comes off the books, right? Don't forget, there's that $5 million also. That, for me, is really, really huge, because that's another $5 million we forgot we have. Right now, the Sabres' projected cap is 17.4 open, okay? 17.4. In reality, we got $5 million with Ben Bishop, we're not talking about, but it is there. That $5 million bucks is really on there. So, 22.3 about. This is something, guys, we're going to have to look at. Believe it or not, I don't think in the offseason. I think at the trade deadline. We have to see where we're at. If we're in some sort of a playoff run, or a playoff contention, I'm saying, not a run, we're contending. Let's say we're, 6 points out, 5.5. We'll say 5 points out of the playoffs. And, do we make a stab at a veteran? I would say yes, absolutely yes, if his contract expires. If his contract expires at the end of the year, or if it's somebody we want and has at least another year on that contract. a lot of things come into play. We have to be really, really smart with this. This is something, guys, the way I look at it, this is our power. This is the Buffalo Sabres. If they have any kind of power over the NHL, it's money. And we got to protect that. Because right now it's our ace in the hole. And we got to be very careful with that. If we start screwing around with our cash, look at Ottawa. I don't want to pick on Ottawa, but look at Ottawa. They're a mess still, and they capped out. They got some cap left, not much. And they should be a hell of a lot better than what they are. But they're giving out $8 million contracts like it's going out of style, and I don't get it. I don't get how their fans aren't freaking out. Ottawa right now are not as bad as you would think, but their cap space is only, what is it? They're one of the lowest paid teams in hockey, but they only have $3.4 million in cap. You know, it's not really, it's nothing to write home about, believe me. It's not going to get you anywhere. And they got some contracts I don't agree with. I don't know what they were thinking, honestly, giving Giroux all that money. For a guy his age, I don't care what numbers he puts up this year, he's just not worth like $6.5 million. There's certain guys you got to be careful when you sign. And I think that's one area we've been smart with, guys, is our money. That is one thing I'll say. Regardless of the wins and losses right now, we've been very smart with our money because we're going to need it in the future. If we walk into those contracts and we're up against the cap, forget it. We're losing players. We're losing players that we don't want to lose. I don't want to lose guys like Cousins. There's just guys I don't want to lose on this team that are young and they're really good. So we've got to save the money to get those guys locked in. And we're going to get them. Look what we got Tage signed for. Everybody in the NHL was thinking that was an overpayment. I don't know why. I don't know why. Tage would get that kind of feedback, but then Norris on Ottawa would be like, oh my God, what a good contract. And he's making over $8 million. I don't get it. You got a guy like Tage Thompson, give me him any day. My goodness, a big, gigantic centerman that can get 50 goals. This guy literally can get 50 goals. So, now, we've got to be smart because what if Cousins explodes? What if? I'll throw the what ifs at you. What if Dahlin gets 90 points? What if? Then what happens? We've got to be smart, guys. We've got to be smart because we don't want to lose these players. There's certain players, there's certain part of this core, we can't lose them. If we lose them, we're going to be just shaking our heads, saying, my goodness, this rebuild was going good. If only we could have kept them. We don't want to say if only, So for me, it's not worth going and getting a guy $7 million. It's not worth it. Not till these guys are locked in, then we'll talk. I want to see what our money's left over after the fact, So can we go out though and get some veterans? Sure we could. Absolutely we could at the deadline. Sure, why not? If the contract's expiring, sure, why not? Especially guys, $3-4 million. We got the money to do that right now and play with it, but we have to look at the term versus the cap coming in a few years. We have to be careful. So, but I'm sure, I'm sure Kevin Adams is doing all that. I'm not even concerned about that, really. They've been so damn smart with the money that I don't worry. So, all right, guys, I am exhausted, okay? I'm going to put up these videos. See you folks tomorrow. Have a good one.